Stop doing these 8 things after 60. Life-changing advice. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Mark Twain, welcome, dear friends, to Golden Years Wisdom Channel. Today, we're embarking on a heartfelt journey together, one that speaks to the deepest corners of our hearts. If this message touches your soul, please subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your stories inspire countless others who walk this path alongside you. Remember, every comment you leave becomes a beacon of hope for someone who needs it today. Treasure every moment with those you love before time whispers its final goodbye. Picture this. Margaret, at 73, suddenly realized something profound. She counted the remaining times she might embrace her grandchildren, share Sunday dinners with her sister, or laugh with her lifelong friends. The number was smaller than she'd imagined, and it changed everything. That realization transformed her from someone who postponed visits to someone who made memories a priority, understanding that tomorrow isn't guaranteed to anyone. When we truly grasp how finite our moments are, every conversation becomes sacred, every shared meal becomes precious. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Your body won't feel younger tomorrow. Your loved ones won't be here forever. The insurance on things we never use costs more than the priceless experiences we're missing. Invest in presence, not postponement, because memories are the only wealth we truly take with us. Release the need to keep score. Your worth isn't measured in dollars. For decades, Robert watched his account balance like a scoreboard, feeling victorious when it rose and defeated when it fell. At 78, with more than enough to live comfortably for 3 lifetimes, he still couldn't spend $1 without anxiety. He'd won the game long ago, but never stopped playing. His money had become his prison rather than his freedom, and he was serving a life sentence of his own making. Here's the liberating truth. Money is a tool, not a trophy. It's meant to build the life you dream of, not to sit idle while you dream of living. When you shift from scorekeeping to purpose-keeping, everything changes. Anxiety transforms into action. Fear becomes freedom. Ask yourself this evening, what do I want my resources to accomplish? Security, joy, legacy, or experiences? Answer that question, and suddenly every decision becomes crystal clear, guided by meaning rather than fear. Free your mind from financial obsession. Peace lives where worry once resided. Dorothy knew her net worth to the penny, could recite market fluctuations from memory, but couldn't remember what her great-grandchildren were studying in school. At 81, she realized she'd spent more time with spreadsheets than with the people she loved. Her constant financial vigilance hadn't made her richer. It had stolen her joy, her presence, and her peace. The numbers were fine. Her life wasn't. You need a solid plan, absolutely. There's wisdom in that. But once you know you're secure, once the numbers confirm you'll be all right, release your grip on constant monitoring. Hire someone trustworthy to hold that anxiety for you if you must. Your golden years aren't meant to be spent refreshing account balances or fretting over every market tremor. They're meant for laughter that makes your sides ache, for sunsets that take your breath away, for presents that money can never buy. Know when you've won, the courage to stop and savor victory. At 75, James still saved every spare dollar, living as though poverty lurked around every corner. Despite having everything he needed and more, he'd spent 50 years in accumulation mode and couldn't switch gears. His children were secure, his retirement fully funded, his emergency reserves overflowing, yet he denied himself simple pleasures out of habit and fear. He'd crossed the finish line years ago, but kept running, exhausted and unable to celebrate. There comes a sacred moment when saving more isn't wisdom. It's worry wearing a responsible mask. If your essentials are covered, your future is secure, and your plan has weathered every test, then continuing to hoard rather than live is robbing yourself of joy. Shift from endless accumulation to purposeful living, spending intentionally on experiences that matter, on people you love, on causes that stir your soul. You've won now, claim your prize, and actually live the life you've worked so hard to build. Choose freedom over possessions, the lightness of letting go. Harold bought a vacation home at 70, thinking it would bring happiness. Instead, it brought maintenance headaches, property taxes, repairs, and the burden of being tied to one location. Meanwhile, his friend Patricia spent her years traveling freely, renting beautiful places across continents, experiencing cultures unburdened by ownership. 10 years later, Harold envied Patricia's freedom while she collected memories from 40 different destinations without a single repair bill. As we journey deeper into our golden years, we're called to release, not accumulate. Every possession demands something from us: space, maintenance, insurance, worry, cleaning, protecting. But time and independence? They give back endlessly without taking. Before buying anything, ask yourself this powerful question: will this give me more freedom or more obligations? More time or more tasks? If the answer is obligations and tasks, walk away. Choose experiences that liberate rather than things that imprison. Honor the temple you've been given. Your health is your greatest treasure. Thomas had $4 million in investments, but couldn't walk his daughter down the aisle without pain. His neighbor Elizabeth had modest savings, but hiked mountains at 77, her energy boundless and her spirit free. When Thomas finally invested $10,000 in the knee surgery he'd postponed for years, he wept not from pain, but from realizing he'd wasted precious years being too frugal with his health, while being generous with lesser things. At 60, 70, 80, you're not too old to reclaim your vitality, but you are too old to keep delaying. Spend whatever you must on movement, on nutrition, on healing what holds you back. Hire the trainer, join the class, build the home gym, get the surgery, buy the fresh vegetables. Your future self is begging you from tomorrow. Please give me the gift of strength, of mobility, of energy. Every walk you take, every healthy meal you choose, every stretch you commit to, these are love letters to your tomorrow. Embrace your authentic self, the freedom of finally being you. At 68, Richard confessed something that stunned everyone. He'd spent 40 years pretending to love golf because successful people were supposed to love golf. He'd spent thousands on clubs, memberships, and trips, forcing himself onto courses when he'd rather be home with his books. The day he finally admitted the truth and gave his clubs away, he felt lighter than he had in decades. He'd been paying a freedom tax his entire life. This is your permission slip, written in bold letters. You don't have to like what others expect you to like. You don't have to travel if you'd rather garden, socialize if you prefer solitude, or attend events that drain your spirit. Retirement isn't about performing for an audience. It's about finally, beautifully, unapologetically being yourself. Whatever brings you genuine joy, whatever makes your heart sing, whatever feeds your soul, that's your truth. Honor it without explanation, without apology, without compromise. Your authenticity is your gift to the world. Build resilience, not crystal balls. Trust the process, not the prediction. 82-year-old Helen had called her financial advisor every week for a decade, asking the same question: should I get out now? Is the crash coming? She missed massive growth in the market while sitting in cash, waiting for the perfect moment that never came. Meanwhile, her friend George never tried timing anything. He had a solid plan for good markets and bad, reserves for rough patches, and he slept peacefully regardless of headlines. The happiest souls among us aren't fortune tellers. They're farmers who plant wisely and prepare for all seasons. You'll never predict when storms arrive, but you can have shelter ready when they do. Build a strategy that works whether markets soar or stumble. Reserves for immediate needs, stability for your peace, growth for your future. Stop exhausting yourself trying to outsmart the unpredictable. Timing breeds anxiety. Process brings peace. Plant your seeds, tend your garden, trust your preparation, and let tomorrow bring whatever weather it chooses. Dear friends, each stage of life offers us a precious gift, the chance to begin again, to shed what no longer serves us, to embrace what truly matters. You stand now at a threshold filled with possibility, where wisdom meets freedom, where experience meets joy. These golden years aren't about winding down, they're about finally, fully, coming alive in ways that your working years never allowed. Share with us in the comments. Which of these truths spoke to your heart today? What will you release? What will you embrace? Your words might be exactly what another soul needs to hear. Together, we're not just viewers, we're a family of wisdom keepers, dream chasers, and life lovers who refuse to let our best days remain unlived.